All right, guys, so today we're going to compare a Bobcat and a Caterpillar. We're sitting here at our local cat dealer. This is Ring Power Equipment in Sarasota. And I want to show you guys the difference on a few or two different machines. So we've got our T630 right there on the left, and we've got a 259D on the right. Two of these 259Ds here. So we're going to compare these guys side by side. First thing I want to point out, you'll notice on the Bobcat, that is a radial lift machine. If you look at the 259D, that is a vertical lift machine. The difference there is that the coupler here is about 3, 4, I don't know, maybe 6 inches higher or so. That will give you more vertical lift. It will not give you the lift out front. So this is actually a great dirt moving machine. This is a great machine for loading a triaxle or something like that. Not sure if the 259D will actually load a triaxle. I do believe it will. I know that this machine will not do it without you building a little dirt ramp for yourself. These are basically identical machines. They're both 74 horsepower, have pretty comparable flow rates, and I want to point out some of the features on a cat machine versus a Bobcat machine. Obviously, besides the fact that the cat is a vertical lift machine, I'll show you the engine compartment. The Bobcat is mounted horizontally, so you have all of your injectors right here, your alternator, your fuel here. This is actually a terrible fuel cap. It always overflows. You've got your fuel filter, it's pretty accessible, and you also have your battery, which is kind of tucked away there, but I've jump started my truck with it relatively easily a couple times. And then you've got your starter. So you've got a vertical lift machine here. This is also a Tier 4 Ingram, so it is not Tier 4 final. So it just has a DFP or a diesel particulate filter. This is actually the muffler and the diesel particulate filter. And then to get to the radiator and everything like that, you lift up. You then take that gold little piece there and you know, prop it up. So there you have it for your Bobcat. Over here on your Caterpillar machine, first thing you'll notice is that you have recessed lights. This is kind of nice. If you do a forestry kit on it, you can just get little mesh that goes over there. But you never really have to worry about busting out your lights, especially with a forestry kit. Not so easy on the Bobcat machine, just because your lights are, you know, right there exposed. And you know, can be knocked out at any time. So Caterpillar puts in nice little details like that. Obviously, the main difference here is that this is mounted vertically. So you're gonna see, you know, this is more like a rear-wheel drive car. The Bobcat's kind of like a front-wheel drive car. Still pretty easy to get to. I know that filling up this tank doesn't cause air bubbles and it doesn't spill on you. Your air filter is easy to get to. Your battery is still tucked away, but I would say it's easier than the Bobcat. You've got your fuel filter. You have your coolant, really easy to get to. And your starter is kind of tucked away there. It's kind of tucked away there on the back. So this changing the starter on this guy would be relatively difficult, but the cab does flip up, which is nice. And then one thing I really like on a cat machine is just they think of little things like putting hydraulic there. Just a nice little arm. I know that this unbolts, flips up, you can easily clean it, but really, really solid unit. One thing that I really like about the cat machine as opposed to the Bobcat is that your Bobcat, you'll see a grease fitting right there. Then your second grease fitting, we've got grease fittings in here. If you can see my finger, that's a grease fitting. That is the toughest grease fitting to get to on this machine. Another grease fitting will be right there. And you'll notice that these grease fittings are basically all over the place. Great thing about the Cat is that your grease fittings are all flush and facing the same direction. So you have a grease fitting and a grease fitting. And so everything on the Cat is just easier to service. If you compare the tracks, they both have basically the same track system. The Bobcat does collect dirt because you can see here on the metal part that there's not a whole lot of room in between the tracks and where it meets the metal. Here, there's a lot more room. It's kind of easier to kick out. Obviously, this one hasn't been in the dirt. It's just sitting here on the rental lot. And then accessibility into both machines. The Cat is a little bit easier, mainly because it's got it worked out in the boom, but the step is also higher, so it's kind of a pro and con to it. But still, like, both really nice machines. We're starting to lean a little bit more towards Cat ourselves, just because we're having so many quality issues with the Bobcats. And you know, the Caterpillar, their dealer services just seems to be, they seem to care more about our business than our local Bobcat dealer does. But I wanted to give you guys an overview of these machines. If you go ahead and get in the Cat, you'll notice that you have 2 bars. Really nice, nothing here to bump your head on. So you can get in, you can bolt them down, same joystick setup like before. All of your, you know, electronics gauges. This is an open cab machine. Pretty much the same thing as a Bobcat. Just a nice feature here is that you do not have any obstructions. You also have no foot pedals. This is a non-foot pedal machine, so there's no need to have foot pedals. So you just have a lot more room here. And I do like the bar feature there a lot. And granted, it is an open cab machine, so it's not as nice in there as an enclosed machine. This is an enclosed machine. Obviously, we've got our radio and everything in here, but the biggest difference you can see is the bar, and that's okay. I'm a pretty short guy myself, so I can kind of get in here and not have too much of an issue. But flip your bar down. It's a preference. I like the split bar. Joysticks. One thing with the Bobcat is all the Bobcats are built the same, so whether it's going to be a machine, you know, if this is going to be a pedal machine or a joystick machine, a lot of guys are super old school, so they stick with Bobcat, because Bobcat will actually still do the pedal controls. And so because of that, you'll see that the machine is equipped kind of with its pedals. It's kind of how it is. So a little bit less room, it's a little bit more snug. Also can be a pain to vacuum that stuff out. But thus it is. One great thing about the Bobcat with the enclosed cab is there is a ton of AC in this thing. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I think there's a 7th vent. Could be wrong. I think there's possibly 6 vents on this machine. As you can tell, most of them were all closed up. Dude, the Bobcat AC is on point. I mean, you are freezing in there for like 5 minutes, which is freaking great down in Florida. Both of them have their coupler system. Like I said, we've had issues with this coupler before. We've replaced them on both of our machines. Both of our machines are 2015 models. We've replaced both of them. Kind of exposed. I do like that they have the handle here, but there is a lot to bang up. So not a super fan of that. On the Caterpillar, it is more enclosed, which is very nice. You could actually put a forestry kit around this stuff. I really would like to put a forestry on all of ours. But it is a little bit more stout. It's kind of built more for construction and job sites. Bobcats are excellent one-man band machines, and they'll hold up. You see a lot of Bobcats in rental fleets, but the Caterpillar is a hell of a machine. So, you guys, kind of stout. So there you have it, man. Bobcat and a Bobcat T630 and a Caterpillar 259D.